Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. And so for today's video, basically I am going to update you guys on if there was any findings that suggest that Google Fi could be in talks or in some sort of deal with another provider to bring on a new third dependency network carrier. But before I get into that, I just want to run down Google Fi for those people who don't know what Google Fi is, but possibly heard the name but not really know too much about it. Real quick, Google Fi is a mobile service provider offered by Google. Now, it is an MVNO, which stands for a mobile virtual network operator. So what that means is that they don't have their own network built out across the country. In fact, they lease a portion of another carrier's network to provide service to their customers. So in this case, Google Fi basically uses both T-Mobile and Sprint in the East Coast, West Coast. Well, basically across the U.S., they use T-Mobile and Sprint. But only in the Midwest would you have access to the third carrier, which is U.S. Cellular. So in the Midwest, you have three. Technically, on the coastlines, you have access to two, which is not bad. And you're only set at the limitations of what those network coverage is, which their coverage maps, I would tell you guys right now, honestly, is not 100% accurate. But you'll kind of get a rough idea of where you're going to get coverage. Google Fi is a bit quirky as they have two different plans. $70 plan is unlimited talk, text, and data, 22 gigabyte throttle cap with access membership to Google One. They have another plan, which is a flexible plan. That plan is for the person trying to save the most money. So, very money conscious, doesn't want to spend a whole lot, and has home Wi-Fi access always. Then that plan would be more beneficial. Google Fi works in over 150 countries, so you don't need to worry about having to get a data add-on international plan. There's no additional charge. It just works. And the best part about it is that there's certain countries that have blocked certain access to sites, like, so for instance, in China, they block Facebook access. Because you're a Google Fi customer and you're just visiting China, your data connection is not going to block you access to Facebook. At least for now. Who knows if China decides to do something that actually will force that hand. But for right now, it doesn't. So you won't be limited to what a country's limitations are. You will be able to access websites that you would normally access back home, traveling internationally. On top of that, you can get a data-only SIM card, and that's no additional line or additional charge. That just basically runs data off your main line itself, which you can use that in tablets or LTE capable laptops or things like that. So you can also have IoTs connected, kind of like using a hotspot, but the hotspot's in the SIM card. But then also on your smartphone, you have your hotspot capability as well. You can always turn that on and run the data off your phone tethered to a device. So those are some of the cool, geeky, nerdy things that you get with Google Fi. Now, the big question is, will Google Fi get a third network to depend on? And the reason why I say third, and you're probably like, well, Tito, you already said that they connect to three different networks. True, but if you didn't know, T-Mobile and Sprint are merging. As a matter of fact, they've already begun merging, and right now T-Mobile is integrating Sprint's network into their network as the merger got approved, and so they began doing it in the beginning of May. Certain cities have already seen network integrations. If you want to know more about the network, the integrations, and things like that, I highly suggest these channels. Their links will be in the description of the video, or if you're on my channel itself, go to the spot where it shows featured channels, and you'll find their channels there as well. But Sneed Mobile Tech, Carlos S Tech, and Chanel 808 Hawaii Life, those three channels I definitely recommend you guys check out, as they deal a lot with the networks and explain a lot. They're very good at it. Very good guys too as well. So yeah. And they have a great big community, and you're going to love being a part of that community if you want to learn more about networks, LTE bands, 5G, etc. Check out their channels. So, yeah. The merger, basically integration, T-Mobile getting a hold of band 41, or LTE band 41, to be more specific. And T-Mobile already has band 71 and band 66. So they are trying to not only beef up LTE speeds for LTE capable devices, but also they're beefing up their network for 5G, which I think T-Mobile right now has low band, mid band. They've rolled out millimeter wave, but according to Sneed's speed tests, it doesn't really look like they've optimized their millimeter wave. So that you'll really have to go and talk to those guys about to really understand all that. So yeah, theoretically right now, Google Fi only has a 2 network access right now. And that would be the new T-Mobile's access and US Cellular. Even though on paper it's going to be 2 network access, technically you haven't lost access as if you had a 3 network dependency, because the Sprint network is being integrated into the new T-Mobile's network. So what you had coverage before with Sprint or T-Mobile, it's still going to be that. Now you will see some different speeds currently right now. Cities impacted obviously because of the network integrations, but hopefully by a year from now, probably around the beginning of 2021, T-Mobile speeds would be much more better. So would that even mean that Google Fi would have to go and get Verizon or At&t on board to have on paper a 3 network dependency and connection? And I don't see anything happening at this point right now that even suggests that or says that Google Fi is even looking to add a new 3rd carrier to replace Sprint's spot. But if they did, it could be Verizon or At&t, or it could be Dish, since Dish is becoming the new 4th carrier. Because of the merger, they needed a 4th competitor to still be there, even though Sprint was really going down. And I'm talking about everything, not just from their network, but also from customer churnout and everything like that. Those were major issues. And that is the reason why both companies decided to merge, right? Because T-Mobile wanted access to the LTE band 41, and Sprint needed a bailout. So Dish became basically the 4th carrier. Now I'm not going to go into too much detail about how that's going to work out, but within a couple of years, if Dish doesn't flop, it will be the 4th carrier to compete against the other 3. We could see that. We could definitely see Verizon being approached. I would like to see them approach Verizon, but I don't see that happening. And AT&T is good. Okay, it's good. Don't get me wrong. But, if it's my first choice, Verizon would be the one that I would say Google Fi approach them and work out some sort of deal. Now, it's not as easy as people think that they can just go and make this deal and then phones will just automatically connect to the network. I mean, with Verizon side, maybe, because I know that Verizon is the network that Google Fi customers roam on if both Sprint and T-Mobile is not good in the area and US Cellular is not accessible. Then they have a roaming agreement with Verizon, and customers don't pay extra for that roaming agreement, so that's a pretty solid on Google Fi. But for AT&T, I don't know. That would be different, and I'm not entirely sure if they do have a roaming agreement with AT&T. I'd really have to look into that. I haven't seen anything that said that, but I'm not saying that they don't. But you have to consider the devices that Google Fi has. Their Fi-capable devices allows them to smart switch between different various networks. And if you do have any of the Fi-capable devices, I would definitely recommend FiSwitch. FiSwitch is in the Play Store. It costs like $2.99 for it, one-time charge. But not only does it show you which network you're connected to when you're on Google Fi, so if you're on Sprint, it'll show the Sprint logo. If you're on T-Mobile, it'll show the T-Mobile logo. But you'll also see what LTE band you're connected to. And if, say, your speeds is like very sluggish and you know that Sprint is probably doing better at that moment, but your phone is not switching as it should to the Sprint network, you can force it onto Sprint's network just by tapping one of the 3 buttons in a notification shade that's marked the name of the carrier. And it's going to open your dialer. Just press where you would normally see the numbers that you're dialing, and it'll paste, copy paste the code in, the dialer code, and that will smart switch it over to that network and force it on there. But that's, different. But I just wanted to put that out there for those people who have Fi and didn't know about that. And very handy app. But the Fi-capable devices can switch between networks. The only devices that won't be able to do that are non-Fi capable devices, which are other Android devices like Samsung Galaxy S's, Galaxy Notes, the LG V60 or any of those. Those, even iPhones, those will only connect to the T-Mobile network, but they still have international connection if you were to travel outside the country with them. It's only the 5 capable devices, which currently right now are the Pixel 4, Pixel 3a, because I don't think they sell the Pixel 3 on Google Fi anymore, but and the Moto G stylus and the Moto G power. Now, older devices like the Nexus devices, so the Nexus 5X 6P, the Nexus 6, and the Nexus 5, and then the Pixel 1, 2, and 3, as well as the LG G7 ThinQ, the LG V35 ThinQ, the Moto X4, and the Moto G6. Those devices also are Fi capable, which is something that's built into the hardware that allows the phone to just jump onto various different networks. Those capabilities are not present in iPhones. They're not present in other Android devices. So that's why they're called Fi capable. But it doesn't mean that those will actually connect to Verizon itself. So those are some of the things that we have to think about here. Now, possibly down the road, it could. Google Fi definitely is going to get 5G access down the road. It's already been said. But currently, right now, from everything that I'm looking into, there's nothing that says that Google Fi is remotely interested right now at this time trying to get a third carrier signed on, since now it only has a 2-network dependency. But that doesn't mean that will change in the future. So I will stay on top of that news as much as possible to provide that for you guys and keep you guys up to date. But for right now, I mean, you're not really losing anything. You're just losing it on paper. Sprint is a dead name, so it won't be there anymore. It'll just be the new T-Mobile and US Cellular for now. So that's it, guys. Pretty long video. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section of the video. Smash that like button if you guys enjoyed today's video. And if you guys just found my channel and subscribed, thank you so much for doing so. And hit the bell icon to be notified when I do upload. And that's it. I'm actually going to put this on various different platforms. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. And as always, aloha.